Hello boys and girls, welcome to this presentation. In this presentation we're going to talk about Unit 2.1, Simplifying Expressions. In this lesson we have a key point that we have to study. The key point is about the difference between equations and identities. Equations and identities. This is very important and we have to understand that. Now with equations, it's an equal sign. It means that the equation is equal or both sides are equal. And they are only true for one particular value. It means it's only true for one value. For example, let's take a look at this equation. Now, in this equation, it's only true if x equals 3. If you put other values to 3, it won't be true. That's why it's an equation. So equations are only true for one or for only one particular value. This is the meaning of equations. And they come from the word equal. The word equal. This is the meaning of equation. Now let's talk about identity. Identity means it's identical. Identical means it's always equivalent. All the time it's equivalent. And the symbol is like that. 3 lines on each other. So identity means that this expression here is always equivalent. Whatever value that you use, it's gonna be equivalent or identical or identity. Now, this is the main difference between equations and identities. We have to understand that the equations are always equal for one value only true value or one particular value. But identities are always equivalent. This is the main difference between them. Now let me show you some questions to explain that more. Now let's look at question 10. In question 10, reasoning, we have two symbols. This is the equation symbol, E, and this is the identity symbol. Now, these signs are not printed in these statements. Decide if each one is an equation or identity. So you have to read them. How do you know the difference between them? As I said, that an equation is only equal for one value. But identities are always equivalent or always identical. Let's take a look at question A. In A here, we have 3m plus 6, 21. Now, how do you find out these? You start taking numbers from 1, for example, 2, 3, instead of the variable. If all the numbers work out good, it means it's an identity. But if there's only one value for m, it means it's an equation. Now, if we said that m is 1, is that correct? So 3 times 1 equals 3, plus 6 equals 9. So in this situation, 3, if m is 1, it won't work. Because it doesn't work, it means it's an equation. It needs only one value for m. And that value is what? How do we get this as an equation? I'm sorry, it's an equation, but how we get m? Because it's an equation, we put equal inside, yes? And m will be what? If we said m is 2, we said 1 doesn't work. If m is 2, 3 times 2 equals 6, so it doesn't work. What if m is 3? 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 6 is what? 9 plus 6, 15. so 3 doesn't work too. What about 4? 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 6. 12 plus 6 is 18. So it doesn't work too. So m might be 5. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 6. Very good. It's 61. So m here is 5. Good job. Now, from this idea, we saw that m can't be 1 and can't be 2, can't be 3 and can't be 4. So this idea means that this is an equation. It's an equation. It's not an identity. Identities are always equivalent to whatever value you give. So whatever value is there, they are equivalent. They have no problem. But equations are only equal for one value. This is the difference between them. Now let's remove this and take a look at another question. Let's take a look at question B. First, we said that this is an equation, so we write 2 lines here. Good. Now, let's look at B. In question B here, we have x plus x plus x plus x. So we have 4 x's. And we have the box for the sign and then 4x. Now, what do we do first? We pretend that x is 1 and see if it works. Let's say x is 1. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. And 4 times x, or 4 times 1 is 4. So it works for 1. So 1 is good. So we put a sign next to it. Now let's pretend that x is 2. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is what? It's 8. Good. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Very good. So if x is 2, it works. As you can see here, if the expression works for more than one value, we say it's an identity. If it works for more than one value, it's an identity. We have no problem with that. So identities work for more than one value. And basically, it works for all values. If we say 6 is, for example, 5, let's try 5. So we say 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, it's 20. And 4 times 5 is 20. Good job. So it works when x is 5. So 5 is good. And that way we say it's an identity. And this is the difference between equations and identities. Equations work only for one value, but identities work with all values. And this is how we differentiate between them. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.